Hey everyone, we're group 2 and our lesson plan is a second grade lesson plan. My name is Erica Duckham. I am in between sports. So it looks like I'm driving, but I know, I promise. And then my teammate will introduce herself as well. She will start on the first slide and we will flip flop back and forth.
I'm Kayla Villapondo, and going to share my screen so that we can get started. Okay. And then Erica, if you want to go first on the big picture.
Yep. So the project is on environmental wellness. And so when we looked at our resources in that radius of Commerce, we noticed a lot of parks and a lot of rec areas. And so we thought it would be a good project to talk about those things. We will talk about community parks, libraries, sanitation, landfill department, and just basically how those things contribute and how being aware of pollution and trash and things that they can do to better the resources that they have near them. The quick brainstorm that we had was English language arts and science. And the last part is that it contributes to community and self-awareness and contributions to the community of environmental cleanliness and things like that.
So for our inquiry process, an overview again is that our topic is environmental wellness. The community assets that we're going to be using include the community parks, probably libraries, things like that. And the students will investigate the environment and come up with solutions on how to improve it. So in groups of 3 to 4, students are going to research topics of environmental wellness, including pollution, littering, recycling, conservation, etc. And then after their research is complete, they will make a list of what factors into a healthy environment and what a healthy environment should look like. We will also visit a few community parks, and students will observe what is wrong within the environment and brainstorm a list of ideas they can do to improve it. Groups will decide on 3 ideas to improve the environment and make a list of needed materials and resources to complete it. When students return to class, they will come up with ways on how to get those resources, as well as fill out a graphic organizer stating each problem within the environment, how it could be harmful, what they could do to fix the problem, and what materials they need to fix the problem, and how they'd go about doing it. After students complete the graphic organizer, they'll write about their community service experience in their journals. They will talk amongst their groups about what some effective things were and what they could do better. And finally, students will create a final draft of sorts, like a poster or a PowerPoint, something that represents their contributions to the environment and the problems they identified. And for our learning objective, you want to take that one?
So the learning objective, we went with a science teak, and it is on scientific investigation and reasoning. The student knows that the information critical thinking, scientific problem solving, and contributions of the scientists are used in making decisions. The student is expected to identify and explain the problem and the purpose of the task and the solution of the problem. So our audience is groups of 3 to 4 students, and they will design a community project that betters the environment. So basically, after they visit the parks, they will they will brainstorm and come together on how and what they can do to better the environment. This will be a lesson that we be spread out within a week, and the overall objective is everything together: brainstorming, working as groups, coming together for the community, and bettering the community and the environment.
So our rubric is based off of planning, behavior, research, design, and teamwork. So for planning, the aspects that we're looking at are brainstorming, generating ideas about a topic, and what we're looking for great work is that the brainstorming had more than 3 to 4 ideas, every idea related to the topic, and there were links drawn between the related ideas. For almost there, we are looking for brainstorming had more than 3 to 4 ideas, and almost every idea was related to the topic. If they're starting to get it, that would mean that the brainstorming had less than 3 to 4 ideas, and more than half of them were related to the topic. And then if they're just really not getting it, the brainstorming had fewer than 3 or 4 ideas, and some of them are not related to the topic at all. For behavior, we're looking at participation and taking part in activities and like doing the work. So for great work, they would have shared many ideas, took part in all activities and completed all the work, took risks by trying new things. If they're almost there, they would take part in all the activities and did the work that was assigned. If they're starting to get it, they did most of the work and took part in all the activities. And then if they are not getting it at all, they didn't take part in any of them, and didn't do very much work, if at all, any. For research, we're looking at the quantity, the number of sources. Great work would mean that they had facts and information from 2 or more sources. Almost there would mean that they had facts and information from 1 source. Starting to get it, they would have facts and information from 1 source, but not all of the facts are related to the group project. And if they did not get it at all, they would have no facts. For design, we're looking at creativity and originality, creative design and original artwork. If they did great, their design was unique and interesting, used more than 5 original items. If they're almost there, the design was original, used anywhere between 3 to 5 original items. If they're starting to get it, they made a few changes to the background or layout and used 1 or 2 items. And if they need to try again, they would have only used just the design template and the ideas were not original. Finally, at teamwork, we're looking at cooperation. If they're listening, sharing ideas and work, and supporting their team members. If they're doing great, they were a team player, always listened carefully to others, shared ideas, finished their own work, and then helped other team members do the same. If they're almost there, they were a team player, did their own work, and helped others, and listened to other team members. If they're starting to get it, they were not always a team player, did not always listen to team members, and did their own work but did not help others. And if they need to try again, they didn't act as a team player, they did not listen to others, did not share ideas or resources, and did not help out other team members.
The interactive read aloud part, it's actually a YouTube video of the reading, and those come in handy because we have some students that need oral administration, and so it helps them be able to listen to the story as well as just the same teacher over and over. So I really like those. So this book was chosen because the main character faces an environmental problem and comes up with a creative way to solve it while bettering the environment. This book also allows for discussions on the benefits trees can have into the environment. So that really ties into the activity that they have to do. The social studies teaks that were supported in this activity were comprehension skills, listening, speaking, reading, writing, thinking, and using multiple texts. The students use metacognitive skills to both develop and deepen comprehension of increasingly complex text. The student is expected to generate questions about text before, during, and after reading to deepen the understanding and gain information. And so as you develop that in the classroom, then the teacher would ask questions ahead of time, based on the pictures that are in the book, like a reading walkthrough before you even read it, and kind of generate your questions from there. Citizenship, because of the community and the friendship part, the student understands characteristics of good citizenship and exemplifies by individuals. The student is expected to identify ways to actively practice good citizenship. So throughout the book, the student would be able to say this part of the book was good friendship or good citizenship. And the key vocabulary would be problem solving, friendship, and community service.
So before reading, we would have a discussion with the students and ask who's familiar with the story. Maybe some of the children have already read that book before. We'll examine and make inferences as a class about the cover artwork as to what the story may be about. And we will make a KWL chart on the board after discussing possibilities. During the reading, we will ask questions such as, like, when the man cries out in distress, we will ask students how they think Kate felt. And then we will also ask students what Kate did that showed good citizenship. After reading, we'll ask students what benefit the trees had in the story. We'll ask the students what other benefits trees may have in the environment in real life. We will continue the KWL chart by filling in what the students learned about the story afterwards. We will also ask students why Kate planted the trees. After reading the book, we will be able to identify that is because she identified a problem in the environment and saw the trees as the solution. And then we will also express that, like Kate, if students see problems within the environment, they too can create a solution for it.
So the desired results for this would be for students to research the topics of environmental wellness, including pollution, littering, recycling, conservation. After the research is done, then the students will make a list of what a healthy environment looks like or should look like. And they will then visit the community parks, and the students will observe what's wrong. So in other words, based on the research that they completed on what they think a healthy environment should look like, then they will look at what's wrong with the environment at the parks they visited, and then they would create their lists and ideas and brainstorming from there on how to improve it. The groups will decide on at least 3 ideas to improve the environment, and then they will list the resources on what they need, the materials needed, or resources to be able to achieve those goals. When the students return to class, they will come up with those ways on how to get the resources needed to execute their community project. And then students will fill out their graphic organizer stating the problem within the environment and how it could be harmful and what they can do to fix the problem, what materials they need to fix the problem, and how they would do it. Finally, the students will create posters and a slideshow to be able to present their findings to the class. Students will understand that the environment has a lot of issues. they will know what things they can do to better the environment, and they will be able to develop and create ideas and ways to solve problems within the environment.
So stage 2 would be the assessment of evidence. We would create a list as a class about things they can do to help the environment, create a list of things of why it's bad to harm the environment and what kind of things people do when they're hurting it. We will also put a plan into effect to help the students be environmentally informed. Other evidence to check for would be students understanding what littering and pollution do, and students creating effective ways to reduce pollution and help the environment. So for the learning plan in stage 3, the intro and the hook would be the teacher would walk into class and begin to eat a snack and throw the wrapper on the floor in front of the students. And then she will write on a piece of paper, balled up, and throw it on the floor. She'll sit at her desk and wait to see how many students will react to what she has done. And when the students react to what she's done, she will pick students and ask them engaging questions such as what will happen if everyone threw their trash on the floor? What would happen if no one ever picked up trash at all? And why do we separate trash from recycling? So for the modeling and information giving, the teacher will show the students a video about pollution. And there's a YouTube link to the chosen video. For guided practice, we would pause the video at about 16 minutes and have the students discuss with their group what kinds of things they can do to fix the big pile of trash that was spoken about. And after students have had 2 or 3 minutes to discuss, the teacher will ask the students to raise their hands and share a few examples. For independent practice, the teacher will give the students time to write in their journals their own ideas about why they think there's so much trash and what they think they can do to fix it. And finally, for closure, the teacher will bring the students back as a class and go over what the students wrote in their journals. The teacher will finish out with how they will apply those ideas in real life and give each student an exit ticket. And each student will write 3 things: one thing they already knew, one thing they wish to change, and one thing they can do to change it. And that is our IBP project. So